I'd say at this point it's symbolic that if the video starts with me walking into frame and there's a microphone in front of me, that we're getting a new RC car. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Travis RC. If you haven't already, or if you're new here, please subscribe. And if you are new here, of course, my name is Travis. This channel was created with the premise of documenting the process of getting into RC in whatever discipline that might be. We started by getting into bashing with monster trucks. We had a couple LMTs, we had an X-Max, and we started with that and getting into monster trucks because I work with real monster trucks and a lot of my friends have those monster trucks, and it's fun to drive those on real monster truck tracks that you built yourself. I discovered over time I was using those less and less, or I had less time to use them, and I just wasn't getting the joy out of breaking and fixing, and I'm pretty competitive by nature, so I started to think about getting into RC racing. So along the way, once we made that decision, I went ahead and I sold both of my LMTs to fund a 8-scale e-buggy. We went with a Techno EB48 2.2, and I believe it was June where I posted a video where I recorded myself buying that Techno car and all of the parts that we needed for it. From there, we did a whole build series that you can check back on. We have a whole Techno EB48 2.2 playlist, and that all culminated with the reveal video, followed shortly by a vlog video where I did a whole vlog showing our first ever RC car race. That was a really fun video, and a lot of people checked that out, and I really appreciate you guys for doing that. So I had no intentions outside of getting into 8-scale racing this year to jump into anything else in the immediate future. Somewhere along the way, and I don't know where or when, but I decided to get into 10-scale off-road racing. So why are we getting into 10-scale off-road racing? Two reasons, both of them having to do with the winter season in northern Wisconsin. The first being that we can race and have something fun to do throughout the winter. The second being that I can keep doing content for you more year-round. Now, the channel is a secondary project to the main channel, which is, of course, just the RC stuff by itself. But I have a lot of fun doing this, and I want to eventually use the channel as a way to have some maybe other opportunities, whether it be gaining manufacturer partnerships, sponsorships, etc. and so forth. That's a big goal I have, and I really appreciate you guys so far helping build this channel. So we made the decision to get into 10-scale off-road racing, and we're going to be doing carpet because there are 2 carpet tracks within 90 minutes of me, and I think there's a few others just outside of that also. So just like I previously did getting into 8-scale, I went to a couple 10-scale events just to get the vibe and check everything out. So in order to kick off our 10-scale adventure here, I went over to the Toy Box in New Richmond, Wisconsin this past Saturday, which is an indoor carpet track. It's not very big, and the building's a little unassuming from the outside, but when you go in there, man, it's a cool little place. So I believe this track started as clay, later on went to AstroTurf, and I think it was turf for a couple years, and they just recently converted to carpet for the first time. So with the track being recently converted, they also did some other upgrades throughout the pit spaces. Everything's freshly painted. It's a really neat little place, and if you're in Wisconsin or in the Twin Cities area in Minnesota, highly recommend going over to the Toy Box and checking it out. While we were there, we met up with Jason, who's the organizer there at the Toy Box, and we were talking a lot about the differences between 8-scale and 10-scale, and just getting his perspective on this whole different world that's completely different from 8-scale. And while we were talking, he offered me the chance to go ahead and drive one of his cars on the carpet track, and I've never driven a 10-scale before on any surface, let alone carpet. So he graciously allowed me to take his Team Associated RC10 6.4 with a 21.5 turn motor out for a spin. And I'm going to put some footage of that here up on the screen for you to check out. And man, I really had fun. I enjoyed it, I think, even a little bit more than what I thought I would. I don't know if I liked it initially based off this experience more than 8-scale necessarily, but I definitely like it enough that it's something I'm going to stick with for sure once we get rolling. So 10-scale racing has actually just kind of always been a little bit intimidating to me due to the high traction and smaller margin of error, but it was actually a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be, and once we have some time on the track, I think we'll be pretty decent with it. The car felt a lot smoother than what I expected, and Jason told me that this car was set up for dirt. Like, this is not at all ready to go for carpet. So all things considered, it felt really good. I guess the only noticeable thing that I could pick up was that it was kind of hard to get the car to rotate, but once I had a little bit more time with it, I was able to figure it out, and there were points where I could kind of pick where I could get it to rotate, but I know if we have a car set up for carpet, that we're going to be running even faster than that. Man, the track was a lot of fun, and this carpet's brand new too, so it doesn't even have all of the traction that I think it's going to once that carpet actually breaks in. This wasn't an actual race event they were doing, it was just an open house, so there were a small handful of guys there that were running, and I felt like we were pretty quick compared to some of the other guys that were out on the track while we were there, at least. So yeah, I really enjoyed being able to get on the track for the first time and just get a feel for it before we actually get a car for ourselves. So once we got done visiting the toy box, went over to Hobbyz in Woodbury, Minnesota, and Hobbyz may be familiar to you. They are an online retailer, and I love ordering through Hobbyz if I have a chance, just because they have a great rewards program. I have a $75 coupon that I've just been hanging on to for a long time, ever since I bought the X-Max from them a couple years back. And with how close they are, most parts that I order from them will show up within a day or two. Hobbyz is a great online distributor. They have a great hobby shop also that you can actually go to, and they have a great indoor carpet track that is connected to the hobby shop. Now, it may be slightly bigger or not at all bigger, I'm not 100% sure, than what the toy box was, but it's a very nice facility. They have a great giant loft right up above the track overlooking it that they use for pit space. While we were there, we ran into Christian Franchek, who's only been in the hobby for a few months with his dad. We met them at Rick's Hobby Farm when we did our first 8-scale race, and they actually live pretty close to me. Christian just built his first 10-scale car. He has an X-Ray 2-wheel drive buggy that he was running in the intermediate 17.5 class, and I'm going to put some footage up here of him running so that you can check that out. But Christian did a really, really great job, and he actually won his A-main in the 17.5 intermediate class, and I believe he never even drove that car until probably the day before or that morning. I'm not 100% sure, but kid's a natural, and if he sticks with it, man, he can make a career out of this. He can be one of those guys 100%. But I'm really excited to run at both of these tracks, being Toy Box and Hobbyz. They're both close to the house. They're both very nice, and everybody that I've met at both of these places has been super helpful and great. So shout out to everybody that runs at Toy Box or Hobbyz. So now that we talked about all that mumbo jumbo, you probably want to know what car I'm going to be getting to start getting into 10-scale carpet racing. We're going with a Team Associated RC10B7. So why are we going with a B7? Well, I'm kind of taking the approach that I went with the Techno to start with here. And the big thing being is setup and part support. Hobbyz has all the parts that I could probably ever need for this thing, and that's what a lot of other people are running, so we can get a lot of help with setup, with parts, and just any general advice. I will say, though, Hobbyz also has great support for X-Ray cars, so if you're not a Team Associated guy, X-Ray seems like the next best choice. Or maybe the first best choice, depending on your preference, I guess. We're simply going with a 2-wheel drive class just because it seems like that's the most popular, and I want to make sure that we're kind of guaranteed to run anywhere we're going to go, but also it just seems like a really fun competitive class. So I kind of lean towards a 17.5 class just because I had a buddy who watched my 8-scale racing vlog that we did, and he said because of how well we could do with the 8-scale buggy for our first time out, he said we're going to handle a 17.5 just fine. So that's the car that we're going with. I'm sure not long after we get it built and start running it, maybe they're going to come out with a B7.1, and then I'll be like, of course, but that's just my luck. But no worries, I'm pretty excited for all of that. I'm not going to do a video where I show myself buying it or all that. The car's already on the way, and some other parts along with it are on the way as well. And we also bought all of our electronics. So all in all, everything's on the way, and we're going to start ripping into it as soon as we get everything. So as far as what all we have for the car, we're obviously getting the car, but we're going to be putting some upgrades in it right away just to get it to run a little bit stiffer and be a little bit more stable for us. So I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Dustin Spallone that I do real life monster trucks with. Dustin's a phenomenal monster truck driver, by the way, for the short time that he's been doing it. I'll make sure I put a couple clips in here of him running because, man, check him out, but also check out Monster Truck Throwdown. We do some pretty rad things. So Dustin's been giving me a lot of advice on here's what I recommend or here's what I run, and he's trying to help me make sure that we have a really good car to start off with, that we have a really good baseline setup that we could adjust if we need to. But basically, we're going to set up our B7 very similar to how Dustin has his setup. He said that the setup that he has with his B7 now is the best carpet car that he's ever run. So I'm confident that with his advice, we're going to hit the track for the first time and hopefully be fairly comfortable. So what we're going to be putting in the car to help us get started with here is going to be front and rear carbon arms, a factory team carbon top plate and ball stud mount, and then we're definitely doing the factory team aluminum steering rack and bell cranks, because it sounds like that is a point that you really want to get stiffened up, and it seems like most people go that route. We're also just going to be doing some different springs. We have some front orange springs and some gray rear springs. We also are going to have different shock pistons. We're going to be doing a full metal diff. We have a whole set of optional sway bars coming, and then some different shock fluids as well. And then we're also going to be working off of a setup sheet that Dustin's going to be making for us too, to go along with all of this. That should be very helpful. Now, I know one thing that we hear a lot of, and it's very controversial, is the 5-gear transmission versus the 3. I know Team Associated just announced a kit to convert the transmission in your B7 from a 5-gear to a 3-gear, and I assume that's the same transmission that is going to be in the stadium truck that they just announced as well. But Dustin said that he likes his 5-gear. He doesn't have any issues with it, doesn't see the need to upgrade, so I'm not going to worry about it, at least for now. Now, as far as our electronics go, we're going to be getting a Team Coyote Crest X Evo ESC. We have the Coyote Crest 8 ESC in our 8-scale buggy, and I really like that, so I'm going to stick with Coyote. I was going to get the standard Crest X, but they are out of stock of it on A-Main, and it's like $30-40 more to get the new Evo version that just came out, so we went ahead and got that, and then we got the Bluetooth tuning module to hook up to it as well, because the 10-scale ESCs don't have built-in Bluetooth, so that they could stay small. To go along with that, we're doing a Team Exalt 17.5 motor. I don't know if we're doing the bronze or the silver or the gold yet. We might just go the gold, and then we'll have the full ceramic bearings and everything in there. And because we have a Nitro Pro servo in our 8-scale buggy, we're also going Nitro Pro on the 10-scale buggy. So we are going to have a KS1 Pro low profile servo that's already on the way. And I know there's a lot of other great servos that we could put in this buggy, but you cannot match the guarantee and the warranty that comes on the Nitro Pro servos. You can't. I don't know why you would get anything else at that point. We're going to have a Fly Sky receiver to go along with our NB4 Plus, of course. As far as the batteries go, similarly to the 8-scale, we are going to be running Gens Ace Redline 2.0 batteries. So 2S, and I think we're going 4200 milliamp. We could definitely go with a higher milliamp, but I was actually really surprised at how much runtime you get out of these 2S shorty packs. I think I ran for like 15-20 minutes in Jason's car that he let me run. Now, granted, that was 21.5. Still surprising how much runtime you get in that compared to a big 4S 8-scale battery. And we are going to bling the car up a little bit off the box and go for that, orange-blue scheme that you've come to be familiar with. From 175 RC, we're going to have some aluminum nuts and spacers that we're getting from A-Main Hobbyz, thanks to the suggestions of A-Main's B7 build series that they did last year. We also have a J Concepts servo horn coming as well, instead of going with the plastic one that's included with the kit. I think everybody pretty much goes with an aluminum servo horn. We're also going to be doing some orange wires and blue wires as well for the motor and the batteries. And of course, I already have a body being worked on by DRC Graphics, who did our 8-scale body. I really loved how it turned out and told them, hey, we're doing a B7 body. I believe it's a J Concepts S15, I think is what we told him we're going for. And he's going to change up the scheme a little bit just to match some other things that we have coming. Like we have a transmitter wrap and a battery charger wrap coming that I'm really excited about from Suction Stickers. So I can't wait to show that to you guys also. So we spent some money at Dollar Hobbies as well while we were there, checking out the track. We got some 1UP Racing lockdown adjustable bullet plugs. We have these on the 8-scale car, also in orange, and I really like these things. It keeps the connection nice and secure in the battery. You don't have to worry about them popping off the battery. At Dustin Spallone's recommendation, we also have some different pinion gears. So we have 29, 30, and 31 tooth here. He suggested also just to have a 32 tooth on hand, but they didn't have that in stock, so we'll get that later. We also got a 1UP Racing 10-scale car stand, just simply because I don't like the tall, spinny, cheap one that I got from Hobbytown years ago. I want to replace that with just a foam 8-scale car stand as well. So we got this for 10-scale. And it seems like pretty standardly at a lot of tracks that run the same type of carpet. A lot of guys are running fuzz bites in the rear, and then fuzz bite or pin swags in the front, and we're going pin swag. So I got 3 sets of pre-mounts for fuzz bites and pin swags. I probably should have learned my lesson with doing pre-mounts on the 8-scale car, but I didn't, and I'm lazy, so we got a few sets of these. So I think that pretty much covers everything that we're getting as far as the car, the parts we're putting on it right away, the upgrades, the carbon stuff, the electronics, and all that jazz. I don't think I'm going to be doing a full build series with this car, similar to what we did with the Techno, just because I think there's probably enough of these out there already, but it's also pretty time consuming to do those build videos. So I'll pick up a build series again later on if we get a car that comes out more recently, I guess, to try to help more people. I think instead what I might do is a few live streams where we're doing the car, and it'd be awesome to have people come in, interact, and hang out while I'm doing the build. And it'll also be a good way for me to take an opportunity to ask for help right on the spot if there's any experienced builders in there that are familiar with this car too. That'd be cool. So I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to touch on in this video. The car, the electronics, all the other parts, everything's on the way, at least what isn't here already. And I can't wait to be able to have a car to race through the winter and keep bringing you guys some videos. There's been a lot of people checking the channel out lately over the last couple videos, so I just wanted to send a very heartfelt thank you. It means a lot to me. The channel's growing, and it's just really cool. I appreciate it so much. As always, don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video, but most importantly, subscribe, because we're going to have a lot of fun with this new project, and I can't wait to take you with me. If you have an RC10B7, comment below and let me know. I want to hear what your experience has been with this car so far. Thank you guys again so much for checking this out, and we're going to see you, of course, in the next one.